Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis, hence the name of my channel, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. 4 years ago I was asked to come up with a series of videos that were filmed inexpensively. We don't use digital cameras, we don't use fluid head tripods, we don't use shotgun microphones, we wear tatty shirts, we just use a phone. But we look at cars that you can buy for a budget up to £1,000 only, and we very much enjoy ourselves. These are cars that might be in cosmetically bad condition. You might see oil leaks, rattly dashboards and cosmetic imperfections, but we go all over the country and we find these very inexpensive cars that you all seem to enjoy watching. Well viewers, another exciting day in Hertfordshire. This is a 1997 Nissan Primera P11 2-litre GT. I have filmed one of these before. It was a 2-litre GX automatic back in 2021. But this one is maybe a bit more exciting than that. It's not the perhaps most concours example, but you know, this is no budget reviews. This car is actually worth a little bit more than £1,000. But you can pick up a standard P11 for no budget reviews money, of course, that's not a problem. This replaced the first Primera, which came out in 1990 and 1996 and continued till 2002. Well, I think some of the P12s did come out in 2001. Built in Sunderland, of course, and also a couple of other places in the world for other markets, but this would have been built in Sunderland. Very much a sort of evolution in terms of the styling of the previous generation car. You could get a hatchback or a saloon or an estate. This is a hatchback, probably the most common type. If we lift this enormous big hatch up, the boot struts are working, which is good. Massive, massive parcel shelf in here, which I'm going to have to sort of lift up with one hand to open up and see the spare wheel, which is just underneath here. It's actually a full-size spare in this car, which is great. Boot size is about 430 litres, I think, in this. It could even be more than that. It's huge. I don't know if the saloon's a bit bigger. The estate, I think, was bigger still. It just sort of goes to show you that you don't really need to have an SUV to have a very practical family car. Even a sporty, practical family car like this one. And yeah, it looks the part. I mean, I personally would change that driver's door if it were me. I don't know if Sam's got any plans to do that, but there we go. Interior in this is quite interesting. It's a sort of half leather, but typical sort of 1990s swirly fabric in it. The other thing is, we don't get electric rear windows in this this GT that was sort of towards the top of the range. I can't remember whether some of the more luxurious versions would get that, but this one didn't have it. And lots and lots and lots of 1990s moulded plastic to go with that jazzy fabric. Seats are actually pretty good. We've got sort of half leather interior in here. We've got nice armrests as well, which is nice and comfortable. The only thing is although legroom's sort of okay, it's not the most capacious car I've been in, but it's all right. I imagine if you shut that door actually a second. Imagine if you got the estate, you get more headroom than this, but it's okay. The headlining's in good condition, even after all this time. Yeah, the headroom's just not the best in here. The legroom's okay. I'm about 5'11", I'm not that tall. And if there was a mat pocket in here, it'd be even worse. There's actually one that side. For some reason, you only get one, which is a bit mean. Also, I'm wondering about this sort of jazzy wood on the dash. I'm not sure if that's standard or not, or like a dealer fit one. It didn't seem very sort of sporty to me to have lots of wood on the dash, and you know, fake wood at that. But you know, maybe that was what they fitted. I'm not sure. Right, let's have a look at the front. Okay. So all the sort of normal refinements of the 1990s family car or sort of rep car. You'd have to be a very special rep to get a GT, wouldn't you, in 1997? But just a very, very conventional interior for the time. You could sort of tell that Nissan listened to feedback, and the controls are rotary ones rather than the slider controls of earlier Japanese cars. Normal orientation for the indicator and wiper stalks. And electric mirrors, of course. Only 2 electric windows, but the driver's one is a power shot one. and a leather-wrapped steering wheel, which does give the car a bit of, you know, sporty character. It's nicer to feel that. Down here we've got an ashtray, and Sam's converted that to hold 2 USB ports, which is excellent. 5-speed manual, but it's a nice gearbox actually. The last one I drove was an automatic, so this will be probably better for me. A little storage compartment down there. If you open up the glove box, this car didn't have a passenger airbag. I think you could get that on some of your models. It's a bit full of stuff, so we're not going to try to put the circumvention documents in there, but I'm sure you could fit them in if you wanted to. The seats are actually a lot more comfortable in this car than in the 2-litre GX automatic that I drove in 2021. Maybe because they have a bit more sort of support on the sides of them. I don't know, but that one, the seats just didn't do very good. I know Ian Seabrook from the Hubnut channel, when he had his P11, which was a long time ago now, he also didn't like the seats in that particularly. So, you know, that's just not me, I don't think. Right, let's have a look under the bonnet, shall we? So our good old friend, the SR20 engine, used in all sorts of things, including Sylvia's, Primeras, I think are used in the N14 Sunny GTI. Quite reliable, in this case generating 147 horsepower, 2 litres in capacity. Chain driven, they tend to be very reliable engines. Sam owns this car has told me that there's like a sort of flat spot in this car between about 4,000 and 5,000 RPM. I'm not sure I would be driving the car sort of that hard to be able to see that, but you know, you never know, do you? Might get a bit excited when we go out for a spin a little bit later on. I like the sort of front air dam on this. It does make the car look a bit more sort of purposeful, doesn't it? Right, well, let's take it out on the road, shall we? This is a very pleasant car to drive, even at sort of lower speeds. The suspension's a little bit firmer than I remember from the 2-litre GX. Actually, there were 3 different suspension setups for the P11 Primeras, and the GT, like this, has the stiffest one. Still not that bad though. It's not really stiff like so many modern cars are. It's actually quite compliant. Steering is joyous. Despite the fact we haven't got the same rear suspension as in a P10 in this car, it's been a bit simplified for these P11s. It's still excellent. You can really feel the steering really positively as well. You can understand why a lot of people said that, you know, Nissans in the 1990s were really set up as drivers' cars, and certainly with the evidence of this one, I would say that was true. Let's come out of this junction and see what it's kind of like. I think 0 to 60 is less than 8 seconds in this or something. Oh, yes. I mean, some said it was a bit flat between a certain rev range, but from where I'm sitting, it's brilliant. Snickety gearbox. This car's done 146,000 miles, and actually driving it, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that at all. It's an absolute pleasure, this thing. I'm really pleased to be offered a go in this, and not just the 2-litre GX automatic I drove in 2021. This is revelation, really. I know you could get some fine handling cars at this time. You could get, I don't know, something like a Mark II Mondeo. That's pretty nice to drive. Ford Peugeot 406, those are pretty nice. Also the V6 Vauxhall Vectras are pretty nice. The standard ones, not so much. But these, yeah, pretty good. Let's just see what it's like over these speed bumps. Brakes are good, nice and positive. You can see what the biggest problem Nissan had filling these cars in the 90s was getting people into the showroom, because you took one look at it, it's like, that doesn't look that interesting, apart from maybe that GT one. But once you're behind the wheel of it and you actually take it out for a little spin, it's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. So when the car was introduced in 1996, there were 3 petrol engines available. You could get a GA16 engine, 1.6 litres with 98 horsepower. The GA16 is a fantastic engine. I spend half my life, I think, talking about how great it is. And they are superb engines. Also available at the same time were 2 2-litres, both SR20s. There was a 128 brake horsepower version of this engine, which is the one that I tried back in 2021, and then this 147 brake horsepower version in the GT model. When the facelift occurred in 1999, the engines were completely changed. The GA16 was gone, replaced with, I think it was called a QG16 engine, which is actually much lower powered, about 88 horsepower. But after that, there was 1.8, I think also a QG engine with 112 horsepower, and then another version of the SR20 which sort of fitted in between the older engines, 138 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. Our viewers couldn't resist another acceleration test. Yes, and there's the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit on the Barcade bypass. I want to go faster, viewers, to be honest, because the car has a very, very good chassis. I'm surprised how sort of compliant and easy it is, even at town speed. So, clutch and the transmission, they do sort of suggest that actually, you know, you could handle even more power, but it's pretty good. It's an absolute joy to drive this. I really maybe should own one of these cars at some point in my life. It probably wouldn't be a GT, it would probably be one of the really high spec ones, maybe the 138 horsepower version or something. But that'd be good. I might even go for a saloon because I'm that sort of person. But this is brilliant. It's sort of money that the standard ones of these are sort of available for, which isn't not a lot really. I think this would be a good option for somebody looking for sort of like a retro daily car that handles really well and just doesn't require an awful lot of effort to think about driving, like so many other stuff I do. It just feels really compromised in that way. This, not really so much. And yeah, very, very enjoyable indeed. Let's now look at some P11 Nissan Primera trim levels. Sort of lower ones are things like the Equation and the Precision and the Profile. And further up the range, the SX, the GX, the SE, the SI, the SRI, the SLX, and then the GTs. There were actually 3 GTs. There was a GT like this one, a GT-LE and a GT-SE. Perhaps the GT-LE and SE got a bit more equipment than this, like the rear electric windows. After the facelift of 1999, the trim levels were changed almost entirely to Active, E, S, SE, SE Plus, Sport, and Sport Plus. The thing was, though, with the facelifted P11s, you didn't get this 147 brake horsepower engine. The 128 and 147 brake horsepower engines were replaced with a single 138 brake horsepower version of this engine, and then a 1.8 was introduced below that. Whether the facelifted P11s look better than these, I couldn't tell you. I sort of like them, but then a lot of people prefer the look of these. So that's up to you. So viewers, should you consider a P11 Nissan Primera for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? Well, you won't get a GT model for that. You'd spend a little bit more, but the basic one, I don't see why you shouldn't get one. The rust is a big problem on this. There's a bit of rust on this car, but it's not too serious at the moment. So you just check for that, and also just general sort of abuse. The 1.6 and 2 litre engines can blow head gaskets, and you can have problems with timing chains, but it's generally quite rare. It's more to do with lack of maintenance that than anything else. They're generally very, very good cars, these. I'm not sure that many people remember them. But anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you to Sam for letting me have a go in his pride and joy. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more inexpensive motoring.